Abramovich was ordered to sell Chelsea because he was the owner of Chelsea, more so that he was Abramovich, namely the fact that he was a public figure and that loud name, very well known. He'll be so forced to do this loud thing, and then, for example, no one's gonna look at the business partners of Boris Johnson and everyone from the party, and all the stuff that's still going on. And
do you feel, from what you know, that the UK government was justified in ousting Putin as the owner of Chelsea because of his connections with Putin, and therefore that knock-on effects with the war on Ukraine?
See, that's the thing. I don't think forcing someone to sell a football club is going to do anything. Sending tanks, yes. Doing military aid, yes. Making sure that European money does not support Russia. That's another thing, because Putin's going crazy. But I think personally that, for example, if some sanctions would have been done in 2014 after the Crimea annexation, much better. Secondly, there is a reason why in Eastern Europe, London is often called Londongrad. That's the name for it. There are still so many ultra-wealthy Russian oligarchs just living there and moving all this stuff out that I don't know. And Abramovich, out of all of them, has been the one who's actively using his private jet to carry, prisoners of war and helping people out. And he actually gave iPhones to these soldiers just so that they could call their families. And he's actively donated money and actually tried to help end the war and make peace happen. Again, he's been to peace talks. And of course, all the answers about this, I would... that very special way of talk when people say a lot of things, but to just obfuscate the point because they can't say it directly because it would look bad, that stuff. But the thing is, from what I understand and what I also quite much agree personally myself, Abramovich was ordered to sell Chelsea because he was the owner of Chelsea, more so that he was Abramovich, namely the fact that he was a public figure and that loud name, very well known. He'll be so forced to do this loud thing, and then, for example, no one's gonna look at the business partners of Boris Johnson and everyone from the party, and all the stuff that's still going on and that's still being done because, oh no, look, we did this very public thing. Now there's a lot of help for Ukraine, but there are the government's interests, what people want and what the government should do. And then you have to remember that there are always also interests of the private individuals up there on the top. So
actually, very, very quick question, I think, on this. What's currently right now is the relationship between Putin and Abramovich, if there is any relationship? Can you just describe the nature of the relationship right now?
Right now, Putin is sitting in a bunker and no one knows what's happening. I think Abramovich does not have personal relationship with him, but he hangs out with other very rich Russian oligarchs and other business people. Right now, he's avoiding Putin for a lot of time. And by the way, Putin himself has totally concluded, what's the English? He's basically
secluded.
Yes.
Secluded.
Sorry. Again, English is not my first language, so sometimes
But your English is damn good. But your English is actually pretty damn good. If it's not your first, but well done, though.
Thank you. So he secluded himself in the bunker, and no matter if you're a journalist, whatever, you have to sit in quarantine for 2 weeks because of the COVID thing. No one can see you. And I think Putin is 70 right now. He's been there for 20 years in power. And for example, if you remember the pictures, how I view it, if you remember the pictures of Barack Obama when he started his office and how he left his office, and that's just for 8 years. That's for 8 years in this office. Putin's been in his office for 20 years and trying to do conquests and crazy stuff, and he's 70 now. I really don't think Putin's mental health is very good. And as far as I have heard, the whole war started because someone, while he was sitting in the bunker isolating from COVID, someone told him that, oh, this will be a great idea, get more glory, do something, I don't know, that was going to serve some other interest, whatever. And Putin just bought it. He bought it because
they were robbing his ego. They were robbing his ego.
Yeah, and Abramovich right now, certainly himself, He said he did not believe the war would start. He said that was the dumbest idea ever. And if you think about it, it was, at least. If you are a rich Russian businessman doing business throughout all the world, this war really is bad for you. And as far as we know of right now, the biggest issue is how these people in Russia who are a bit wealthier, how they're going to try to save their money, because they don't want everything taken away by the West as sanctions. But if they're like too friendly with the West, then everything they have gets taken away inside Russia. So it's walking a tightrope for all of them. And Abramovich is, I think, doing things while mostly in Israel, because Israel is, out of all the countries, they have so much interests around there, especially with their current government, that Abramovich is playing off the fact that, oh no, like he's right now playing off the fact that he's working mostly with the Israeli government, so he's kind of immune from Putin, because he has this fallback that, oh no, I'm just, trying to make sure that at least we have some relationships with Israel, all that stuff. I don't think he has any personal stuff with Putin going on now.